time to paint the wall. So the primer is on. If I do this, no more dust in my hands, which means this wall is ready for paint. So let's talk about a few things when you're getting ready to paint. Cover the floor. I've taped all around as a precaution. And let's talk a little bit about brushes. So yesterday I showed you a little bit about cutting in before you roll for the primer. Today, I'm using a slightly thicker brush because I'm using a slightly bigger roller so that I could just get the job done faster. Again, you want an angled brush. My brush of choice, right here, Purdy's. Again, we're not endorsed by anybody. You can go to Home Depot, you can go to Lowe's, you could buy a $2 brush. I guarantee you the bristles are gonna end up on your wall with the paint. I would rather spend the extra $15, get a really good brush. I know I'm gonna be able to use this brush over and over and over again, and the bristles aren't going to come out. You just wash it at the end. I mean, everything is pretty much water-based paint now for the wall, so very easy to wash out your brushes, dry them, put them away, you got them for next time. And then guess what? You bought it only once. Every time you go out and you buy a $2 brush for a job and you throw it away, what is it, 8 times later? You've already paid the same amount of money for this brush and now you don't have any brushes. So, what else? Glasses. I need glasses because I can't see. You may want to use safety goggles because you don't want paint in your eye. That's not fun to take out. So glasses. What else? You may want to cover your head again. I'm not going to because I'm actually going to be deep conditioning my hair as soon as I'm done with this. And maybe, you know what, maybe I'll even make that another video. I'm going to be deep conditioning my hair, so if I get any paint drips or splotches in there, it's going to wash out anyway. So I'm okay with that, but cover your head. Last but not least, the roller. We talked about it before. I'm using a good enough roller. I'm going to use it for the wall. I am most likely going to throw it away after that. So I will see you as soon as I start to paint. You're getting the bristles close to the edge and you're doing a little bit of a vibration shake all the way across the top. And that is how you do the cutting without getting the paint where you don't want it to be, but butting right up to the edge. And again, I'm using the larger brush because I'm going to be using a larger roller. And as you roll to the top, you don't want the top part of the roller to hit your ceiling and put a different color paint on a surface that you didn't want to paint in the first place. I'm here to show that anybody can do this. A person who's a professional will obviously do it faster, but faster isn't always better. And if you do it yourself, you have a sense of accomplishment, you saved money, and guess what? You're gonna get better and better every time you do it. All right, I have to move the ladder, but you get the idea. Now I'm just gonna go to the other side, do the cutting I need to do on the other side, and then the wall is ready to roll. I convinced John to do the rolling because you haven't seen him in a while. So John, why don't we talk about how you're gonna roll the wall? I know I gave you wide cuts, what you like to call wide cuts. That means when I was just doing all the corners and down the edges, I made them nice and thick. I do that for me because I always get scared with the roller that I'm gonna hit the ceiling or I'm gonna hit another wall and I'm gonna get paint in places that I didn't want that paint to go. but that makes it actually a lot easier for John to roll. So, John, what are you doing here?
Well, definitely when you do wide cut-ins, it makes my job a lot easier, because now as I go close with the rollers, I won't, splits, or it can splash off and go into other areas that you do not want it to do. So with Marguerite doing nice wide cut-ins, it makes my job a lot easier. I always like to use a stick because it's less up and down on the ladder. And it's as simple as screwing it in. It's not really complicated. This has a multi-tier stick that you screw it in and tighten it all together. If I want to go longer, I just loosen and extend, but you just tighten. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So stick that right here. Start adding the paint in the pan.
And again, you can see that we've reused this pan quite a number of times, both with and without plastic wrap over it. Again, we are sort of conservationists over here. We try and not create a lot of damage to the environment. We reuse things as we can.
Wash and reuse. That's what we like to try to do.
And so what John's doing right now is he's making sure that he gets good coverage on that roller.
Make sure it's not dripping. See, by spinning it, there's no drips, shake, nothing. I'm going to start on this side right here.
Well, they can't see you if you start on that
All
side.
right, we'll start on this side.
Yeah, start on this side.
All right, we'll start. Light pressure, take your time and roll. I mean, being that we're not doing a large job, if I was doing a larger job, I would go faster. But being that this is a small job, I'm just gonna go slow and just watch for coverage. Just make sure it covers well. One good thing about painting, you mess up, you do it again. It doesn't cover good enough, well, guess what? You do it again tomorrow. And then you get the result you're looking for. That's what's nice about painting.
And also it's the quality paint sometimes too. If you buy cheap paint, you're gonna have to do more than one coat. You buy good paint, sometimes you get away with just a single coat.
Oh, very important is paint quality. You buy cheap paint, oh my God, you can turn your job in. You do twice as much work with cheap paint versus having good paint.
And the way you recognize good paint is it's nice and thick, right? That's one of the qualities, right?
Yeah, the thicker it is, the better usually it is. What happens is it's when it's thin, it just basically has more water in it. More water, more problems. So
And lighter coverage.
definitely lighter color.
All right. And we're just gonna paint up until the point where we hit where all of that plaster was taken care of, because you kind of get the idea of how to roll the wall now. But we want to show you how, using also good primer and good paint, we're going to cover that part of the damaged wall in one shot, and it's going to look fantastic. We're probably not going to have to do a second coat.
Nah, it should be one coat coverage. Especially it helped by using the primer beforehand. It stopped the water bleeding back through the paint again, which we resolved the leak, and we resolved the bleeding of the primer.
And again, good tools, good paint, a little love usually means good job.
Big thing is, like, you see if you put a little too much on, you roll it again. Because sometimes you can put a little too much paint, but you just roll it again. Roll it out. Everything's rolling it out. Taking your time. You don't have to rush. When you're learning, you go slow. The more you do it, the better you get at it, the faster you can go.
And it's already looking like amazing coverage. Just what you did. All right. We'll come back and show you the finished product in a bit. Looking good. All the way around. Smooth, clean, painted. Looks good. That's it. Done. On to the next project.